In a world dominated by four-wheel drive RC monsters, can a two-wheel drive off-road buggy really give you the fun and excitement you're looking to get out of this hobby? And I think the answer is it can. Two-wheel drive buggies have their own benefits. There's less parts, there's less cost, and there's the driving factor. It requires you to finesse the controls, and that can be a real benefit for your skills as an RC driver. Here it is, out of the box, the Team Corally two-wheel drive Syncro. It's an A-scale off-road buggy. You can run it on 3 to 4S battery packs, and it's capable of going 50 plus miles an hour. Along with the buggy, you're also going to get the radio system, some instruction sheets, and an antenna, which you'll have to install yourself. But check this buggy out, guys. Pretty cool. Looks like the four-wheel drive Syncro at first glance. They have 3 different colors for the body and matching wing graphics. Definitely like the sleek look of it. They even have body clip tethers, so you don't lose those when you're changing out battery packs. But the one thing you'll probably notice instantly is the wider rear tires, and that's because it's two-wheel drive. A two-wheel drive is going to need some more traction so it doesn't spin out on you. These four-wheel drive lug tires on the front, those are going to provide a lot of grip. So this extra wide tire in the rear is definitely going to give the buggy some more bite in all types of conditions, from sand to grass. Now, before I get into the other changes that make this a two-wheel drive buggy, let's talk about some of its other features. Again, this is carried over from the Syncro four-wheel drive. It's got the heavy-duty arms on the front, pivot ball suspension, set up 16mm big bore oil-filled shocks, and they seem to have some pretty heavy oil in here. That rebound is pretty slow, and it doesn't have the battery pack in there. But speaking of the battery pack, you've got a nice large battery case. I like that it has this aluminum chassis with the etching on the bottom. Corally just gives you a little bit extra here. Checking out the rear suspension, it's got that composite shock tower and just fixed links everywhere, so you don't have to worry about things changing. Solid looking arms and hubs on this too. And I actually like this little feature here where they have these aluminum plates for the upper camber links that just add some support, because that's a high stress area. It'd probably blow out if it was composite, but they put an aluminum plate there, really good. Steering up front is your typical twin crank steering with a servo saver spring in it. And Corally builds a solid looking car. This thing just looks like a beast. But let's get into what makes it a two-wheel drive, and that's pretty much some drivetrain changes. Actually, the elimination of some four-wheel drive parts, but it's not just as simple as that. They had to make a few tweaks. But anyway, starting up with the front, there are no axles in the front, no drive shafts, no nothing. They just have these stub shafts that go out to 17mm hex. So since they eliminated all that, they also eliminated the front diff. Obviously, there's no need for it because there's no drive up front. So they put these plugs inside the gear casing, and there's no shaft that goes back to the center differential, but this actually doesn't have a center diff. They went and put a dual pad slipper clutch in there. It is adjustable. It's got this large aluminum locking nut on the front of it, so you could adjust that, adjust your slip. And that's actually kind of a critical tuning piece for a two-wheel drive buggy. They have the standard dog bone to the rear gear differential, and it is a seal differential with dog bones going out to the wheels. Oil filled, you got your metal outdrive cups. I also like that the motor plate is aluminum on the buggy, and let's check out the electronics. So it's got the Curon 725 2150 kV motor. Just like the little extra touches that Team Corally does to their stuff, like this jeweled edge here, and then you got the red anodized end cap. It's got a 2 to 3S capable speed controller. BEC on this is 6 volt. It says up to 7.4 volts, so this speed controller is tunable. You can check that out in the instruction manuals for the other options to change up throttle punch and brake. It does have an XT90 connector, single. And then they've got a very prop digital servo. This has a lot of torque to it, metal gears, and even a metal servo horn. Showed you guys the radio system before. With this two-wheel drive setup, obviously these front wheels are just going to free spin. All your power is coming from the rear, and that means you have to be precise with your steering and throttle control. And that's what I'm going to show you as we head outside and drive this beast. So here we are, probably in one of the toughest spots you could go and drive a two-wheel drive buggy. A really slick sandy surface, just lots of loose dirt on top, and you really have to roll into the throttle with a two-wheel drive. Oh, that buggy flies pretty good. But when you get into the corners, yeah, you definitely have to back off real low. Can't punch it like a four-wheel drive car. It's gonna roll onto the throttle. And here we go. That's a good flying buggy. Landed pretty well too, just a little bounce. But I came into that turn a little hot, wanted to spin around on me. So with a four-wheel drive, we'd be punching it already. So that's where four-wheel drive's like cheating. In two-wheel drive, you know, you're doing all this steering, all this throttle maneuvers just to keep this thing straight, and that's gonna make you a better driver. That's the upside to a two-wheel drive. I think it's good to have one in your collection, just to give you that skill, that finesse of the throttle and the steering. Then of course, in a higher bite surface, let's say this was like a wet dirt, a wet loamy dirt, those tires are definitely gonna hook up. You're gonna be able to lay down some more power. And then in the grass, definitely gonna lay down some more power. Those Y tires in the back. But that buggy flies good. Once you get some traction, get that speed up, wow. So yeah, way more traction in grass, guys. The downside of grass, especially like this grass, it's too high. It's definitely gonna heat up your electronics. But if you got a low cut grass, this is a good spot for this buggy. And actually I turned down the dual rate a little bit, just cheating, so I wasn't oversteering the car. But yeah, way more steering now. Actually wants to tip. It's got so much traction. Look at that. All right, so now you've seen dirt, you've seen grass. We gotta go check out some asphalt. Should be a good spot for some pavement fun. And yeah, we're already just throttle controlling this thing, a little counter steer. I don't know about those rear tires. I think they're a little too square and a little too hard. Probably part of the problem with it, but we're gonna have some fun with it anyway. Now, even though we got to throttle this thing and counter steer because it's a two-wheel drive, I will say it flies really good. I probably should have got the four-wheel drive. I don't know why I didn't get that to test. But look at that, just light on the throttle, it's spinning out. I mean, you know, I'm all for two-wheel drive cars if we get a little bit of hookup here. But I think part of the problem is this just requires some really loamy dirt, probably some wet dirt. Because the throttle control, I mean, I'm usually good with throttle control, and I'm having a tough time with this one. I mean, we just have to be super light on the throttle. Or you know what, maybe if they had a radio system that had a gyro in it, so you had some counter steer, kind of like a Spectrum system, maybe that would help it out a bit. But I've got mixed feelings on this one, guys. So drivers, on the way home, it was really bothering me that this car wasn't hooking up, and I thought it had to be the rear tires. So I went and swapped out the rears for these Luis RC Hummer tires that I had. They're a stadium truck tire. They're still a bit squared off, which is something I didn't want. I wanted a more rounder tire, but I went and ran it around in my yard. Seemed to do better. I'm back here at a parking lot. Just want to see if it hooks up here. And look at that. I mean, instantly hooked up now. So yeah, that's the problem with this car, the tires. Whoa, this is way better. Absolutely better. Now I'm having fun with this car. Before, guys, I mean, just to be completely honest, I like two-wheel drive cars. I wanted this to work out. I think Corally just chose the wrong tire for the rear of this car. I think they just, you know, repeated the front tire a little wider. And if they just came up with the proper rear tire, this thing would be an absolute killer. Yeah, look at that. So should you get a two-wheel drive Syncro? There's something here with this buggy. I mean, it's a good buggy. I really want to get the four-wheel drive version now to test too. But yeah, God, guys, this is cool now. So much better. Look at that, so easy to control. I could punch the throttle, no problem. So let me know what you guys think. Should you go the two-wheel drive route? Should you go the four-wheel drive route and strip it out if you wanted a two-wheel drive? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you're into this car, I'll have links for it in the video description below.